That made me look like I moved around a lot more, so that was good. Hi, welcome to the Greg Simoneau Show. I'm Greg Simoneau. I'd like to thank the staff for having me here. It's my honor and pleasure to be here. We have a great show for you tonight. First thing I want to talk about is the PAC TV Instagram account. So I'll just pull out my phone here. And we had some sort of a milestone here. See this here? It's a major congratulations to John Buckley, the Plymouth County Register of Deeds, on taping his 150th episode of the Register's Report. Yay! So you see this is the Instagram account, and there hasn't been many shots of my crotch lately, so, it's been a while, but this is what's going on now here. Give the people what they want, but just, don't give it away. You know what I mean? So when I was scrolling through here, I saw this, and I was like, oh, is that a cake or a cookie? And then I saw that, and I was like, oh, was it his birthday? Is he 150 years old? Is that what that was? And so he does the Register's Report, and he's been doing it for over 10 years, And so about 10 years ago, I stopped coming to PAC TV. So this is the only time in history we've overlapped. He's been doing it for 10 years, and I was before that. And he thought, when he reached 150 episodes, he got a little emotional because, it was quite a milestone, and he just couldn't get over the feeling because it was something that, he'd been holding on to for a long time, and it brought him back to when he was one of the jurors on the Salem witch trials. And he really thought, this makes up for it, years later. And if you had never seen the Register's Report, let me just give you a little taste of what I think it is. So you saw John there. So here's just a little taste of what I think it is. Welcome to the Register's Report, episode 150. John Smith, registered. Joan Smith, registered. Carol Smith, unregistered. And that is all we have tonight for the Register's Report. Please join us for episode 151 when we go over the Thomases. Thank you. I've been John Buckley. Good night. Something like that. So, here at PAC TV, it's very informative. We're here to maybe mesmerize you a little bit and entertain you, inform you, and maybe just a little bit bore you, right? That's the why you're watching, right? Just a little bit of bore. So, so I've been watching a lot of John Hughes movies lately, and I watched 3 Fridays in a row. It was 16 Candles, and that was nice, right? And then I watched Pretty in Pink, and, that got to me a little bit. I didn't realize when I was younger how much, Molly Ringwald cared about going to prom, and I'm like, I thought prom was dumb, and I didn't go, right? I didn't go to mine, the Plymouth one, but I did go to one a couple years later with some other friends, the Wareham prom, 1998, and I saw all my friends there from Wareham, because I worked and grew up in Wareham. So I went to Wareham prom, 1998. Well, I need to take a shower just saying that. But anyways, the Plymouth prom, 1994, from what we know of Marvel, there's many universes out there, and there's many Greg Simoneaus, maybe thousands, maybe millions, hopefully not, but you never know. And maybe he did bring someone to prom back in 94, and, maybe they had a nice time. But in this reality, this Greg Simoneau escaped prom, because I thought it was dumb, right? I really wanted to do my sports, and basically that was it. So if I could go back in time, I think I would like to go back and maybe, have a little confidence, a little courage, and maybe interrupt one of the classes or, ask the teacher before class, can I just have like 5 minutes to talk about prom? John Hughes got me in this mood, And I would say, thank you, teacher and class, for this opportunity to talk to you about prom this year. It's prom season. Prom is coming up. And I know many of you have dates and maybe don't. So I'm Greg Simoneau, class of 94. And I just want to, let you know that I have the means, the transportation, means for a wardrobe, photos, and everything. And if you would like to go to prom with me, just come up and ask. I don't want it to make it too personal. I don't want to make it too romantic, but I do want to make someone's night and bring you to prom, And, the first person that comes up, either I'm not going to say no. I don't care who you are, man, woman, whatever you want to do. And, let's not just limit it to one. If 6 people want to go, I think I could fit you all in the limo. If 8 of you want to go, I think that would be fine too. And don't worry if we're making kind of a scene or we get called losers for all going together. But it's prom season, and I'm in the mood for it. So let's make it happen, and let's all just have a good time. And after the prom, if we'll also do group photos. I'll get you a one-on-one photo with you if you want, a one-on-one dance. I won't abandon anyone, embarrass them, and I won't make you feel bad like Molly Ringwald in Pretty in Pink, where she's crying and hugging her dad. And that made me realize, maybe just by me not putting myself out there for them, the class of 94, that maybe some girl or guy did cry in the arms of their dad. So I would just like to put that out there. And thank you, class, for the time. Justin, can you shut that phone off back there? I'm trying to do a show. Are you hearing that out here? Because I can't not hear it. The phone's like ringing off the hook. What? No, I'm just doing a bit. I don't want to go to prom this year. That was just a back in time, trying to be a little vulnerable for the audience. No. Really? Let me just clarify, people, don't call in. I'm not going to prom this year. I'd have to clear it with my wife, but I don't think so. I don't think I want to go to prom this year. I'm crazy at weddings. You can only imagine. You've seen the dance moves. But I really don't think I want to go this year. Sorry, but let's just say that was a bit. That wasn't actually me reaching out. Maybe if you were, I don't know, in the class of 94, maybe I hopefully made you feel better. Multiverse. That was just a bit. Okay, stop calling. Yeah, just tell them to stop calling. Who even flashed the number on here? How did they get that? That's just totally weird. All right, well, what were the numbers looking like? Men and women. Oh, almost half women. Wow, I'm flattered. Very flattered. Thank you, guys. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with more Greg Simoneau Show. Sorry. Sorry to break any hearts out there. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. And some of you might not know this, but my family owns a furniture store. And it's kind of like Jordan's. It's called Gordon's Furniture. And we're kind of running a promotion like they do. They have the Raphael Devers cycle promotion, and you get your furniture for free, right? So my dad said, Greg, you can do a promotion too, And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. I really want to make it fun for the people, Your furniture will be free. You'll still have to pay for assembly and delivery. But other than that, it'll be free, You still have to pay the taxes on it. And the furniture is pretty cheap anyways. So, but other than that, if these stipulations happen, then all your furniture will be free. Go Red Sox. So this is the Red Sox challenge for my family store, the Gordon's Furniture Store. So the Jordan's has the cycle. We also have to have the cycle. So a Red Sox player has to hit for the cycle after July 31st. That's easy, right? Also, a Red Sox pitcher has to pitch a perfect game in the month of August at night at home, which can happen. You know, it's happened before. It could happen again. So we just need the cycle and the perfect game. And then the Red Sox have to sweep the World Series too. And all your furniture will be free. All your dreams will come true, really. The Red Sox did it in 2004, and they did it in 2007, and they could do it again. They have to sweep the World Series. And they have to sweep it by pitching 4 shutouts in a row. So you got the cycle, the perfect game, and they have to sweep the World Series, which they've done before, but this time they have to pitch 4 shutouts in a row. And it can't be versus the Cardinals because that would just be cheating. So not against the Cardinals, 4 shutouts in a row, sweep the World Series. Bam, all your furniture is free, right? And then the Red Sox also have to have the league MVP on their team. Someone on the Red Sox has to win the MVP. It's happened before. Ortiz did it. It can happen again, right? But here's another stipulation. It has to be 2 players from the Red Sox have to win the MVP. It has to be a co-MVP. It happened before in 1979 with Keith Hernandez and Willie Stargell. It could happen again. So 2 Red Sox co-MVPs sweep the World Series, pitch 4 shutouts in the World Series to sweep it. Also a perfect game in August that night, and some Red Sox player has to hit for the cycle. And that's it, and all your furniture is free. Except for, there's one more stipulation also. Wade Boggs has to come out of retirement and get 5 hits, okay? He did it in 86. He could do it again this year. And he can't just can't just play DH either. He has to play the field too, right? That would be cheating if he just, Wade Boggs coming out of retirement, he could probably get 5 hits easy as a DH. He has to play the field. He has to play third base and make 5 putouts. He did it before. He could do it again. 5 putouts and 11 assists. He's got to make the throw from third base, even at this advanced stage, for your furniture to be free. He can do it. I know he can. And so that's it. Imagine that. Imagine in October, waking up one morning to find out that the Red Sox won the World Series. They pitched 3 shutouts in a row, and in Game 4, they gave up 1 run, and none of your furniture is free. You owe for all that furniture. Man, you came really close. Even if Wade Boggs came back with the 5 hits, if they score 1 run in the World Series, you're not getting that furniture for free. No way. I'm telling you right now. And other than that, it could happen. Your furniture will be free. And some things we kept out of the challenge. My dad wouldn't let me put this in there, but, I really wanted it to be in there. So I'm just telling you, you're lucky this didn't make it in there. But here it goes. All right. Not in the challenge. So this is just some bonus challenges that might be fun for you. Make up your own furniture. I don't know, sit on it and pretend this did happen. Okay, not in the challenge. Don Baylor has to come back from the dead and get hit by a pitch 3 times in one game. Virtually impossible, right? Don Baylor was hit by a pitch a lot of times in his career. It could happen again, even though he's sadly passed away. So Don Baylor has to come back from the dead and get hit by a pitch 3 times in one game. And he has to bat from the left side, not his normal side. He has to come back from the dead and bat from the left side. And get hit by 3 pitches. Get hit by a pitch 3 times in one game. It could happen. It did before, and it could again. And here's another thing that my dad didn't think was cool, but I thought it would be a great thing if we added this into it. A Red Sox player needs to get injured after July 31st, and it needs to be career-ending. Okay? So a Red Sox player has to get hurt on the field after July 31st and can never come back and play again. So if he had a knee injury, and maybe it holds him out 2 years and he comes back, you're going to have to pay for that furniture 2 years down the road. So just so we're clear, it has to be a career-ending injury. Luckily, my dad didn't agree to that. So other than that, come down to Gordon's Furniture for the Red Sox Challenge, and you'll be riding home with some great furniture for free. Thanks, guys. Oh, and we're back. So I hope everyone comes down to my father's store and buys some furniture and wins it all for free. My next little bit, before I start that, I'm noticing Dustin, can I get a little powder in here? Can I get a little? It's a little glare right there. I'm seeing it. Just get a little. Oh, this is a new studio. We don't have powder in it. Just regular, like a, not a makeup artist. I'm just saying, like, just a little bit of powder. Like, this. You said this was a new studio. Like, you guys painted and everything. I mean, look at it. It came out real good. You don't have any powder. Or there's just a little touch up. You know, I look at a little shiny. I think. Maybe it's just my eyes. I don't know. Oh, okay, one second. Thanks. That's better. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Okay, so before I get into my next bit, wait, what is that? It smells like flour. Did you guys just grab flour from the kitchen? I mean, look, it's all in my beard. You guys, that is not cool. Like, look at that. All right. Well, I mean, ooh, it tastes like flour. Like, you know what I mean? Like, very unprofessional. All right. So, moving on. My next bit is a piece I wrote, and I really love Norm Macdonald as a comedian, and sadly he's not with us anymore. I know, like, I'm always like saying sadly on this show, like, people are like dropping like flies. They're dropping like fries too. So Norm died, and I really always, I loved his cadence. So I'm trying to do an impression, and this is 80s Norm. And you're like, if you say like, oh, that impression doesn't sound like Norm, Greg. Well, I only do 80s Norm, like on Step Brothers. We only do 80s Joel, sir. This is only 80s Norm, okay? And it's his cadence from the 80s. So, if you only know him from the 90s and 2000s and 2016, and maybe you won't get it, but here it is. This is my Norm Macdonald impression of this is Norm talking about Star Wars, and this is in the cadence of Norm, 80s Norm, Star Search Norm, and talking about Star Wars. And this is what I wrote for him. If someone else wrote something close to it, then, sue me. I don't know. This is what I came up with, just a little bit. So, you ever see that movie Star Wars there? Yeah, So George Lucas, greatest, creative mind ever, you know what I mean? Like a sci-fi guy, So first scene there, they got that Luke Skywalker, he's on this planet, and they said, George, space novella, what does this first planet got? It's like pretty crazy, right? Yeah, the whole planet, it's all sand. Wow, yes, that's right. Creative mind of George Lucas. The whole planet's first scene is it's all sand. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because in the universe, the odds are it probably would be sand. So then they show Luke, and he's out there, and he's he's at sunset. And this ain't no normal sunset. Because he looks out there, and he says, two suns out there. George Lucas, creative mind, best ever. He's got. So this planet's got, this planet's got? It's got two suns right there. That's right. And Luke's looking at him, And so Luke can, he can get a nice suntan on this without even turning because he got two suns out there, And so then, that sounds good, George. So then what happens, so he goes into town with his old friend there, his old friend. This old guy, So what is this old guy? Is he pretty cool? Is he like, what is he, like a space wizard or something? No, we don't know about that yet. No, to Luke, he's just an old hermit man who lives down in the street in a cave. Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I have old friends too. So all right. So he's going with his old friend into town. And what are they getting? Something cool? Or power converters. Okay, yeah. What's that? Something cool, right? Oh, basically batteries. Oh, okay. So. There he goes down to town, he's got the old man, and perfectly normal, go down and get some batteries, And so then what? What happens then, This is supposed to be a space novella, This is supposed to be pretty cool, This is the old guy and a kid running downtown to, the package store to get some batteries, I don't know. So he comes back and, he finds his house on fire. And his aunt and uncle are dead. Like, oh, geez. So what are the shots going to be? Oh, yeah, it's going to be a couple shots of their burning corpses. That's right. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, sure, that's Star Wars for you, real crazy, And I always loved that one part there when the corpse was burning, it looked like it was doing a push-up, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's going on there, but how could he be doing a push-up as he was burning to death? That's very creepy to me, so I always liked that. I don't know. The stormtroopers probably lit him on fire and like, hey, before you die, give us 10, give us 20, whatever you can get, And that scarred me for life, because in gym class I used to, try to do a push-up, and I just got thinking of the burning corpse as I did it, like, Uncle Owen, Aunt Brew, sorry about that. Like, I can't do that. I'm scarred for life, So that stuck with me, And I'd go to the toy store and I'd be like, Mom, can we get the Luke's home toy, play set, the Lars Homestead play set, Ma, can we get it? And she'd be like, oh, I don't know, why don't you get this one? I'm like, nah, yeah, I want this one, I want to play with the burning corpses figures, And she'd be like, oh, well, let me read the box there. It says now with 2 burning corpses figures. I'm like, yeah, I can get real creative with that, man. Why don't you get me that one? She's like, my mom would always say, I don't approve of you playing with burning corpses. And I'd be like, oh, well, all right, that's fine. And she'd be like, why don't you get this? It's Yoda's Dagobah playset. And I'd be like, Ma, what is that? Is that a new toy? That's spoiler alert, Ma. Jeez, ruin it for me. Why don't you, So that's how that wrapped up anyways. And George Lucas, greatest creative mind of all time, That's how I do it. All right, hi guys. I'm sorry. That game turned out to be a total scam. I wasted a lot of money on that. Sorry about that. I know this is public access. We're not supposed to be here to make money, but geez, I got roped into that thing. Sorry about that. That was some dark times for me. But I want to make mention of a couple of things. There's a card show at the John Carver Inn on May 21st from 9 to 5. And I'm going to have a card table there, right? So that's good information. And you know how, when you go to, a crafts fair and there's one part of the table where the guy's trying to sell his own CDs, So that'll be me. Imagine that. I'll have, some of my Greg Simoneau stuff on the side there. And it'll have, a disclaimer, this is my homemade CD. I don't know. Maybe. It's just in the works. Also, Henry J will be there, the other star of my show. I'd have to get his parents' permission for pictures with him or autographs, He's just a little kid, leave him alone, He's just trying to sell some cards, But, if you want a picture or an autograph, maybe we'll see what happens. He's an up-and-coming star. The guy's only 9. He's way better than me, so, he probably is going to blow the smoke off this whole town, I don't know. So, so here's this little bit. I like to end with this, I see these names all the time, and, I like to give a funny name once in a while. And so this first one is, the name is Timothy Harder. And it sounds like my old safe word in college, So, if you're not as progressive as me, maybe Barbara Harder would be better. But, that would be, Barbara Harder is my safe word when I'm getting a colonoscopy, So that's that one. And then this other one is this name I saw somewhere is Kurt Gursky, okay? And I'm thinking, when they named this baby, they know the last name's Gursky, and they went with Kurt. Okay, well, what do you got? Aaron, Brian, Colin, no, Dave, no. Well, we'll get to the K's. How about Kurt? Yeah, Kurt's a good name. But you put it with Gursky, it's Kurt Gursky. It makes me sound like a sea lion. Kurt Gursky, Kurt Gursky, Kurt Gursky, Kurt Gursky, Kurt Gursky, Kurt Gursky. So those 2 names I thought of, and hey guys, we'll get back to your video in a moment, but first, I gotta tell you this, guys. I found the greatest game on the web. It's called Slots, Cash, Bingo, Fishdom, Fishbowl, slots, Candy Crush, slots, bingo, cash, bingo. You gotta get it, man. So here's how it goes. I've already made some real money, you know. I made like $20 already. So you get paid 2 cents an hour after you reach level 50,000. It's as easy as that. And it's everything you like to play. It's slots. It's got bingo. It's got Candy Crush, all wrapped into one. And the game is only $4.99. So click here to download the app. I've already made like $20. And you can do about 10,000 levels per month. So it's after 5 months, you'll probably be making cash hand over fist, right? That's what I've been doing. You know, I'm Greg Simoneau, but I'm making money with my phone and my apps, right? So this is the coolest game out there. You got to get it, and you'll be making real money. And for a limited time, we're going to give everyone the first 10,000 levels free. So that's like starting on level 10,000 already. And when you reach level 50,000, you'll start to make 2 cents an hour without even doing anything but playing the game. Every hour you play, you'll make 2 cents. And that's real money. And you have to deposit it, withdraw it in increments of $20. And that's it. And when you reach level 45,000, the game slows down a bit, you know. It takes a little bit of time before you can get to level 46,000, 47,000, 48,000, 49,500. And like by the time we're so close to reaching 50,000, we're gonna start asking you for a little money back. But then you'll be making real money once you get to level 50,000, and it's all your favorite games: slots, bingo, cash word, fishbowl thingy. I don't know. It's great. It's just click right up here, and it'll bring you to the App Store, and we'll get back to your video. So if you don't want to download the game, I totally understand. You don't want to make real money, right? So you just got to hit the X in the top corner there, man. And like you got to hit right in the middle of the X. Otherwise, we're going to bring you to the App Store. And then you're going to try to backtrack to get back to the Greg Simoneau Show videos. And they're gone, man. You're never going to get back there. So you might as well get the game and start playing and making some real money. You know, because this is your friend, Greg Simoneau. I wouldn't steer you wrong, man. This is the greatest game on the web, man. You got to get this game. So just go to the App Store, and you'll start making real money in about 5 months, like 2 cents an hour. But it's so cool. I've already started. I'm like rich now, you know. So just hit that. If you don't want the game, hit that X. But you got to hit it in the middle. And we'll bring you back to the more Greg Simoneau Show videos that you were watching, that you were right in the middle of. Sorry to interrupt, but we got to pay some bills, you know.